Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and today we're answering some of your phone calls. It's another Ask the Pulpit episode, and, it's a good time. It's always nice to interact with all you guys and hear your thoughts, questions, concerns, whatever, and you can get those in by calling the hotline at area code 863-874-0000. Not for this episode, for next episode, but, whatever. Anyway, but today we are going to be smoking a selection I received from the fine folks at JC Newman this weekend. Haven't even opened it up yet. I'll be doing that on the show here, but we have the 2024 Bricktoberfest limited edition cigar from JC Newman. And let me just give a little bit of detail here. The 2024 Bricktoberfest 2024, I've said 2024 a lot of times there. It's a 6x52 cigar with a pigtail cap rolled at the JC Newman Pensa factory in Esteli, Nicaragua. These limited edition cigars feature a Havana Rosado wrapper grown in Ecuador with a hearty blend of Nicaraguan tobaccos. The blend is designed to pair perfectly with a bold Oktoberfest beer, lager specifically. Packed in boxes of 10 Brick House Bricktoberfest cigars, have a suggested retail price of $10 each or $100 for a box of 10. Consumers who purchase, and this is important, this is something you guys can do at your participating stores and lounges. Consumers who purchase 7 Brick House cigars from participating retailers will receive a traditional Oktoberfest beer stein hand-painted with Brick House and Bricktoberfest images. I've seen pictures of the beer steins, guys. It's really cool. I have a number of prior year Bricktoberfest glassware and everything, but every year they come out with a different one, and I'm just like, that's cool, and I kind of want that. So anyway, I'm going to cut into the box here and get this guy opened up, and we can do a little unboxing video here. We haven't done a full unboxing here on the pulpit, I don't think, before. So we'll get that. We'll tear away the outer cellophane here. Here's a little throwback for everybody. Everybody who misses the cellophane bit. Anyway, we'll tear away the cellophane there and crack this open, and we will reveal the cigars. Isn't that pretty? Everybody on the YouTube is seeing this. We have the nice box of the Bricktoberfest cigars, a nice little 10-pack box there. All of them just laying there, ready to be smoked and enjoyed. And this one has the cellophane folded the other way, so you can easily get that. Have you guys ever noticed that? That's something that I don't know if you noticed. Some people are going to be like, you're a moron for even pointing this out. Of course, that's why it's there. But other people may not have noticed it. So when you look in the box, and this is going to be easier on the YouTube, when you look in the box, so now there's 9 cigars in there. When there's 10, obviously it's difficult to get your finger, in there to kind of pull the cigar up this way. And all the cellophane, they're folded backwards to where the flap of cellophane is on the under part of the cigar. But typically in boxes, there's always the one. See, I just put that one back in. There's always one where the cellophane is folded towards the front of the cigar and not the back of the cigar. And that way you can just grab that cellophane tab, pull that cigar out, and now you don't have to try and fit your fingers, in there to try and pop another cigar out. And it makes it so much easier, and it avoids cigar damage. But anyway, that's just one of those goofy little things that some people don't pay attention to, and that I'll admit I learned probably way later than I should have, but it's okay. I learned it. I can thank Miss Cindy for that information. That was a Miss Cindy nugget of information there. So anyway, now it's time that we go ahead and prep to cut the cigar. And the official cutting is brought to you by 2guyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. 2guyscigars.com have been around for 40 years, and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows Two Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family-owned and operated, twoguyscigars.com does the very best to provide you great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. There's nothing else you could possibly want. I turn people on to Two Guys all the time, because it's where you want to go for your cigars. But anyway, please go to twoguyscigars.com for your very next cigar purchase. Tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you. There's a little comment section on the order form there. Just be like, hey, Nick sent me. And just remember, that's the number 2guyscigars.com. And with that, it's time to go ahead and cut the cigar. All right, so we have our Bricktoberfest cigar out of its little personal cellophane there. It does have the little pigtail cap there, but I'm going to cut the cigar so that I can smoke it. You can twist the pigtail and expose the tobacco so that you don't even have to technically cut it, but I've never been a big fan of doing that with pigtail cigars. It's just, it never quite works right for me. Oh. Little earthiness to the cold draw. Little bit of it's almost like when you get like a prune or like a sour, some sort of a sour, bitterish kind of candy, or fruit, not candy, fruit. It's slightly bitter sweet to it. So we're getting this guy lit up, and while we light our Bricktoberfest, let's go ahead and do this.
Some say cigars are all the same. It's just not true. It's you I have to blame.
Well, I don't know, 'cause what I know, there is a cigar called Aladino Corojo.
Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. They say authentic, so we're not confused, while the others say it's a word that's just abused.
I guess that's so, they can't compete. At least I'm sure Aladino can't be beat.
Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Cigars use authentic Corojo tobacco from JRE Tobacco. This is the greatest commercial you ever heard. Yeah.
There you go. It's the greatest commercial you've ever heard. I'm enjoying the Brick House Bricktoberfest right off the light. We've smoked this on the show before, not this specific blend, but or maybe it is. Maybe they just put out the same cigar every year. I don't know, but I enjoy it. I still have some of the 23s in there, so maybe a good comparison might be to sit and smoke a 23 and a 24 side by side. But it's a very fine cigar. I always enjoy the Bricktoberfest limited editions. So, anyway, this is an episode where I answer your listener calls and all that fun stuff. So why don't we just go ahead and jump right into that and see what kind of wretched shit you guys called me about this month.
Shall we play a game?
You talking to me? I have a question for you.
You gotta ask me nicely.
Ask me about my wiener!
You got a question? You ask the 8-ball.
Come on, sucker. Let's get it on.
And as I pointed out at the beginning of the show, this is Ask the Pulpit, and this is where you get to ask me questions. So give me a call on the hotline, area code 863-874-0000. And we will go ahead and get this started with this call right here.
What's up, Nick? It's Paul from Texas.
Uh-oh.
What's up, Nick? It's Paul from Texas. I got a easy one for you today, just to give you some content. I want to know your top 3 snacks that you have in your house at all times. At my house, I'm going to say Oreos, honey mustard pretzel sticks, and because we're in Texas, we always have to have some chips and salsa. So anyway, let me know your top 3.
Paul, it's always nice to hear from you, buddy. And top 3 snacks in my house at all times. Well, as you can see, I am a man who takes my snacking very seriously. That's a good question. So it does depend upon, what I'm feeling like. I can tell you with complete certainty that there's always some sort of cereal in my house. And you might be thinking, cereal, that's breakfast. Cereal. It counts for breakfast, counts for lunch, counts for dinner, counts for snacks. Cereal is the all-purpose food. It can be eaten at any time, and it all depends on what kind of cereal it is. Like, for example, a Honey Bunches of Oat, I would count that more as a breakfast cereal or a meal cereal. But, maybe you've got Reese's Puffs that have the peanut butter balls and the chocolate balls in the same box. That could be a snack. You could easily snack on that, both dry and with milk. So, I always have some sort of a cereal in the house. I love grapes. I will go to the store. I'll buy big bunches of grapes. And what I do is I have to prep them. So when I get them home, I wash them. And I pop them off the stems. And I just always have a big bowl of grapes in the fridge, always ready to go. So whenever I want grapes, I always have a big bowl of grapes sitting there ready to go. I love grapes. They're good. And they're natural. So red grapes preferably over green. Green, there's a season that they're good. A lot of times green tends to be a little bit too bitter, sour. I like a nice sweet grape. But there is a season when the green grapes come in very, very sweet, and that's important to note. So I typically go for more of the red. We are coming up on holiday grape season. Holiday grapes, really good. Big, fat, red ones. The only problem with those is sometimes they have a little bit of a not a seed, but like a pseudo seed kind of thing in it. And sometimes that can be a little annoying. But all in all, I like grapes. What is the last snack I typically have in the house? In terms of chips, I do enjoy a nice sour cream and onion chip. I specifically tend to like a sour cream and onion ruffled chip, be it actual Ruffles, or I do have a bag of Oots sour cream and onion ruffled chips in there right now. I like Cheeto Puffs. Cheeto Puffs are good. Animal crackers, that's a good one that I usually like. Target, they sell like a big plastic bear full of animal crackers, and I do enjoy some animal crackers just as a basic snack. If we're talking candy, I don't really, this is going to sound really stupid and surprising, I don't really have a lot of candy on hand at all times. Candy is a very specific purchase for me. Going to the movies, going to the drive-in, that kind of thing. I'll hit up the Walgreens, I'll hit up the gas station, and I'll get candy for that sort of an activity. But in terms of on hand in the house, maybe some peanut M&Ms. But that's not an all-the-time thing. I would say candy is not so much of a normal thing for me to have around. Ice cream, I don't typically have a ton of ice cream on hand. However, at this moment, I do have like a little, I don't even know how big it is. It's the little block, the little square or a rectangular block that they sell the ice cream in. I don't know if that's a half gallon. It's not a gallon. It's whatever it is. Of like a black cherry ice cream. I like a good black cherry ice cream. Anyway, that's snacks, Paul. That may have been disappointing. It may not have been quite what you were looking for. But I appreciate the layup. Every once in a while, it's nice to get a layup and to just ramble on for a minute. So, anyway, we have a couple of calls here from a number here, and we will see who this is.
Well, guess who? Guess who this is?
It's Teddy.
First time caller.
No, it's
First time listener.
No, it's not.
In about a good 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months. I don't really, I didn't keep count. Anyway, if you haven't recognized the voice by now, this is Teddy.
What up, Teddy?
A.K.A. the Smoking Gorilla, A.K.A. Teddy Gorilla on Instagram, and you can find me on Facebook as well. I am calling live, and I do mean live, from Asheville in Palm Coast, Florida.
Oh, this is a PulpitFest
where
call.
The wind is great, the weather is nice, and the libations and cigars are flowing. Thank you, Nick, for the great opportunity to hang out with you guys. And thanks to Ken and all the people there at Passion L for all the wonderful hospitality. Guys, gals, if you missed it, you missed it. But if you was here, then you know. You know, of course, like I said, as always, y'all make sure y'all stay blessed and stay smoky. Laters, taters. Bye.
Well, that's nice to hear from Teddy at PulpitFest. Really just a shout out for your socials there, Teddy, but, you know, whatever. But you did call right back immediately afterwards, so I guess we'll find out what that's all about. So we'll see what's what.
Hey, this is Teddy. Teddy again, a.k.a. the Smoking Gorilla. Guess what? I'm coming back to back with another, though. But this time I actually got a cigar question. Or maybe a cigar action question. We'll
My God.
see where this goes.
Who knew we'd do
question to everybody and to everyone who are football fans, whoever watches football, whether it be college or whether it be pros, and the good stuff in between and everything. And no, we're not talking about no fucking soccer, so let's get that out of your damn brain right now. We're talking about American football. The one where you bouncing around a big stand, trying to put it through a goal maybe, or trying to run it in, or whatever you're trying to do with it, and now all these damn new rules and shit. Well, either way, we're not going to get into all that. The question is, how much more smoking or how much less smoking do any of you do during football season? I know personally I will probably increase my damn smoking after the Cigar PulpitFest because, well, the cigars run the thug. But anyway, besides the point, that was my question. Do you smoke more during football season, or do you smoke more after football season? What is pretty much the time when you think you do most of your smoking? Curious to hear everybody's answers. Well, anyway, y'all take care, stay smoking, stay blessed. Bye.
So, Teddy, the interesting part about that is the fact that football season tends to run from a warmer part of the year right directly into a very cold part of the year. So I would think that a lot of people would actually be doing either an average or more cigar smoking in the beginning part of football season and probably even taper off as the season goes. Now, they could be going to lounges to sit and enjoy the games, in which case maybe then they might be increasing their smoking since they're sitting at a cigar lounge. But if they're at home, it may be a situation where they actually see a decrease in their smoking. It may also be a situation where they decrease their smoking because they're inside their house watching games and maybe they don't smoke inside the house. I don't know. I'll say that my football watching experience has gone down considerably since the Rams left St. Louis. That left a pretty bitter taste in my mouth the way that went down, and kind of just showcased, you know, that look, we all know it's all about the money, but when you have it blatantly thrown in your face like that, that kind of just sucks. And so, especially as somebody who, I mean, I had season tickets for a handful of years to the Rams, and I didn't do that last year because I just had this gut feeling we're going to get this stolen out from underneath us, and I didn't want to reward that. And sure enough, we did. But yeah, I've been a little bitter since then. I maybe catch like a game or two throughout the season now. So football is not as big of a thing for me. And in terms of smoking into the winter, I find ways to make that happen. So anyway, so yeah, I don't know. And I'd be curious to hear from other people who are big into football. Are you smoking less? Are you smoking more during the season? or are you like me and you just don't care? So anyway, moving on, we got another call here, and date-wise, this looks like it might have fallen into PulpitFest as well, so we'll see. This might be a PulpitFest call.
Hello, Ask the Boy. This is Trent calling.
I remember.
Don't actually have a question for you. This isn't for you. I'm standing a foot away from you right now, but just wanted to call, give all the parishioners who didn't make it out to PulpitFest some FOMO. We're in the middle of the Long Ash contest right now. We have 3 people still in. Is that right? We still have 3. We have 3. We've got somebody in the band smoking. We have Jerry Pulaski, who's looking a little droopy at the moment. We're gonna have to break out the blackberry brandy here in a minute. We got another guy probably around the same length as Jerry. So
it sounds like somebody
we'll see how it turns out. And so those of you who didn't come, make sure when next year's tickets go out, you get signed up.
Well, that was a live on-the-spot call from PulpitFest from Trent during the Long Ash contest. I do remember him calling in now that I hear that. That was fun. I enjoyed that contest. And what was fun is everybody was getting into it. We all kind of were sitting around and it was very lively and very spirited contest going on there. We were all joking because it was right around the time that there was a lot of conversation about the break dancing at the Olympics, and I think we all decided that screw break dancing, we need to do a Long Ash competition at the Olympics. I think that would have, and then theoretically all of us could be Olympians. Think about that. You listening at home right now, if you can put together a Long Ash on a cigar, you could be a gold medal winner, for God's sakes. Not many things that I would compete at the Olympics in and do well, but by God, I could try for a Long Ash contest. Anyway, speaking of ash, this Bricktoberfest is smoking really, really well. I have quite the burn going on this. It's been very nice. A little bit of spice on the retro hail. It's fantastic draw, good burn. A little bit of a breeze back here on the patio, at the Aladino Studios here, but so it might be ever so slightly adjusting or the straightness of said burn line, but it's burning really well. So we will continue on with the calls now and see what else we have for everybody to listen to.
Hello, Nick. Hello, any potential guest host. This is the Deacon of the Draw, Jeff, in Balmy, Minnesota. Responding to the question on how do I smoke outside.
Hey, good.
Or how do I smoke in the winter? Do not smoke in the house. I set up a hunting blind. It's about 5 by 5, maybe 6 by 6 in my garage. It has a nice vent fan right out the top that I ducked out to a window. And I run a propane Big Buddy heater in there. I've got a couple of leather chairs, a table, iPad, so I can watch Netflix, whatever, and spend lots of evenings out there smoking in a generally smoke-free environment. At least it exhausts it well enough. So it works well. It stays set up in the summer, not in the way in the garage. So if it's a rainy day, I can actually go out there if it's not too hot. Don't need to run the heater, obviously. So that's what I do. It's worked well for 2 winters, and looking forward to the comforts of the cigar shack in my garage. Stay smoky, friends. Enjoy the show. Take care.
Jeff, thank you so much for the call, and you've got me thinking. So right now, I have a lot of stuff in my garage. Having moved into this house and everything, I'm still working on unboxing. I spent a lot of time this weekend unboxing and putting together my living room, which is essentially my library, because I have this awesome sunroom that it's kind of the backdrop. The blinds are up and everything, so you're not looking in. But I've got this great sunroom, and that's kind of become my like seating, TV, living room, that kind of thing. But the actual living room where you walk in when you come in the front door, I only have so much furniture because my duplex was small, and so I only have the one couch, and I have a couple of chairs, but one chair is out front in the living room, and that's where I have my bookcases. And so right now it's basically just 4 bookcases, a chair, and a coffee table out in the living room. So it's more of a reading room than a living room. But whatever, I digress. Spent a lot of time putting books out this weekend, getting those organized and everything, which it was fun. I like looking through these boxes and seeing all the stuff that I forgot that I had and determining what I want to keep and what I want to get rid of. That's neither here nor there. The point is I still have a lot of boxes in the garage. And so I haven't wanted to smoke in the garage because I didn't, I have a lot of stuff out there, and quite frankly, a lot of paper goods. And paper goods and smoke, they just don't get along well. But you've introduced a thought into my head. So I'm wondering if there's a way that I can set up my ice tent in the garage and have it vent into like a vent hose, like something that you would get like for your bathroom vent exhaust fan, and have that blow out the back window of the garage. That way the smoke is not escaping into the garage, but rather escaping out the window into the outside. And the reason I'm considering this is because my garage is insulated. Obviously, it's going to be cold. There's no vent out there for heating and air conditioning, but it is insulated. And so what I'm thinking is between the insulation of the tent, the insulation of the garage, if I have a vent system set up to blow the smoke out of the window directly, yes, there's going to be some air that comes in from the window itself. I don't know. You've got me thinking about this. I might be able to, instead of setting the tent up out on the patio, I might be able to set the tent up inside the garage, which may then reduce my space heater usage. And that's the big thing for me, is the space heater usage, because that space heater usage is what caused my electric bill to shoot up so considerably the last however many years. So you've got me thinking, Jeff, and I really do appreciate it. I have an oxidizer that I've bought that theoretically I could run that, for 2 hours overnight after I'm done out in the garage to kind of clear out any ambient smoke smell. Additionally, I've been looking at different air purifiers as well. Boy, those rabbits are fucking expensive. If anybody knows somebody that works at the rabbit place and they want me to do a product review, I'd be happy to do one. I just don't want to pay for one. Jeff, I appreciate the call, buddy. You've got me thinking. I have to clear out a lot more room because my ice tent, kind of like your hunting blind, is a 5x5. And so it definitely would take up a lot of space. But I'm thinking that's a feasible possibility. So anyway, moving on to the next caller here. We have a couple of calls from this number.
What's up, man? It's Dakota.
Dakota.
Anyway.
What's going on?
So you have given us prompts to call in about.
I have.
What is our own version of the ice tent of love, or whatever you called it?
Yep.
So I have, literally, it's just a pavilion. It's got mosquito netting, and it's got an opaque privacy netting that goes around it.
Okay. Oh. I think my phone decided to...
So it's got 2 layers.
Turn itself off.
Has ventilation in the top, no problem. I got a whole, what's this thing, patio set to sit on. It sits under it. The pavilion itself is 11 by 13. So I got this patio set that sits in here, and I have a, what is this called? Like, it's a little gas-powered, like, fire. It's not a fire pit, right? So it's a rectangular in shape. It looks like a table. It's got the storage underneath to put a full size. What's this thing called? The propane tank. And then you plug it up to it. It's got these gorgeous blue glass rock things that sits around it. And then, of course, you can control the height and heat level of the flames.
Sounds like a fire pit to me.
There's plenty of ventilation. There's no, chance of dying via propane unless it explodes, and then there's a lot of chance of that. But hopefully it doesn't happen. Anyway, so that's what I got. I got little string lights across the top. You can slide. I got this extension cord that ends in 4, like a splitter with 4 plugs on it. I put that up under the thing. I plug up the lights to it. I plug up this little computer monitor TV thing to it, so I can sit out here, smoke a cigar, and I can keep it warm, to a point. I like a little bit of chill in the air, though. I like a little bit of bite. I want to bundle up, and I want to feel it, right? I love the fall, and I love the winter, so I'm all about it. Anyway, that's my current setup.
Okay.
I will say that I wanted to upgrade to a hard top. This is currently a soft top. Oh, and you were talking about, what were you talking about, dude? You were talking about a show. What was it? Only Murders in the Building. Dude, that show is phenomenal. I love that show. And we're doing the literal exact same thing that you are, letting it build up, because my wife doesn't do very well with the waiting until the next week.
Nope.
But yeah, we're letting it build up. And other than that, other shows that I have watched in the past that came out this year are Sweet Tooth, or came out with their final seasons this year.
Looks like he got cut off, so we're going to continue with Dakota's call.
Sorry, the rude lady interrupted me. But Sweet Tooth,
the rude lady,
is a good show. And it's a little bit more dramatic than what I usually like. I like to watch things like Your Most Hated Show, which is Big Bang Theory or whatever. I love lighthearted sitcoms, comedies, action comedies, all that stuff's great. But I will say these 2 shows that came out with their final season this year, Umbrella Academy and Sweet Tooth, are fantastic. Umbrella Academy is one of the weirdest shows that I like and that I watch. So as far as my standards, it's weird, but for people that like weird stuff, it's not that weird, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what weird is. Maybe I do. Who knows? Anyway, I'll call back when I get another shipment of cigars and see what other things I can uncover. Anyway, y'all, peace out.
Thanks for the call, Dakota. So, Umbrella Academy is on my to-do list. It's on my list on Netflix to watch. I haven't watched any of it yet, but so it's actually based on a comic, and the guy who wrote it was in, I feel like it was My Chemical Romance, the band, and I remember when it came out. It came out quite a while ago, but then the show started coming out, and I haven't watched any of the show yet. With it being the final season, I'll probably just sit and wait for that to end, and then, well, I guess it's out already, because Netflix, they don't do this week-to-week bullshit. They just put it all out. So I guess I could, at any point, just sit and binge the whole thing at this point. So I'll do that eventually, probably over the winter when I have more time. It seems like the wintertime is when I really get a chance to sit and just binge through a show. Since we're talking about shows and watching shows and everything, it kind of is a good segue. Let's go ahead and do a segment within a segment and do this. It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. I don't know how the Bricktoberfest pairs with a lager, but I do know that it pairs nicely with an unsweet iced tea. Anyway, so Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report. What have I watched lately? So speaking of just mindless comedic sitcoms, I have been continuing on through Home Improvement. And I came across the episode. So there's one episode of Home Improvement where Randy, the middle child, played by Jonathan Taylor Thomas, everybody remembers JTT and how he was such a heartthrob there for a while. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, the story is that he goes for a doctor's checkup, ends up finding a lump on his neck, and there's a question as to whether or not it's going to be cancer or if it's going to be what was the hyperactive thyroid or a goiter. And the whole episode is basically the stress of the family, concerned that their youngest son might have cancer. And it's a very serious episode. I don't want to make light, of the topic and everything like that. But the reason this is like the episode in my mind is there's a documentary special, I believe it's on Hulu, all about the Dana Carvey show and the ridiculousness around the Dana Carvey show. And if you haven't watched it's a hilarious documentary. The Dana Carvey show was not around very long, but a lot of guys there were a lot of big name people in this show, a lot of comedic talent. You had, Steve Carell, you had Stephen Colbert, you had obviously Dana Carvey, and you had a lot of people in this show. And it looked very funny. The documentary itself is funny. But one of the things they did is they did this whole commercial, talking about the ridiculousness or showcasing some ridiculousness. And part of it, one episode, they did like this naming thing where they sold the naming rights to the Dana Carvey show. And it's like the 7-Up Power Hour Dana Carvey show. And then it's like followed by Home Improvement no, I'm sorry. I've got it backwards. It was a commercial and showcased the seriousness of the Home Improvement episode. And then it's like, check out Home Improvement, followed by the 7-Up presents Dana Carvey show or some ridiculous. The bottom line is the dichotomy of the super important heartstring tugging episode of Home Improvement followed by the ridiculousness of the Dana Carvey show. It just was hilarious. So I would say check out the Dana Carvey show documentary before the Home Improvement, because, it is Home Improvement. But it was funny, and I finally came across that episode. I'm like, oh, my gosh, this is the one. So I saw that. What else have I seen lately? There's a few things that are starting here soon. So the new Marvel show, that Agatha All Along, that has started. I have not watched it yet. I'll probably check out the first few just to see if it's something I'm remotely interested in, but I haven't yet. The Penguin starts on HBO here later this week. That is definitely a must check out for me because that scratches a couple of itches between Batman and gangsters, so that one's definitely going to be checked out here soon. I've been watching a show called Chaos, K-A-O-S. It's on Netflix, and it stars Jeff Goldblum as Zeus, the Greek god Zeus, and it's interesting. It's funny at times. It's bizarre, but basically it's like today, if the Greek gods were in charge and everybody knew that the gods were real and all this, but it's kind of an interesting show. So if you're into that kind of mythology kind of stuff, it's fun, and it's got Jeff Goldblum, which I love Jeff Goldblum. And then there's a couple other things that are coming out. Oh, the new Grand Tour special, the final one called One for the Road. That has premiered on Amazon Prime. I have not watched that yet, but I will be watching it soon. So probably in the next episode, I'll have a little bit to say about that. But I love that show. Those three guys, Jeremy, Richard, and James, they've been around for 22 years doing this stuff together. They have an awesome rapport, great comedy amongst the three of them. But then also what I love about these specials is they go to some very unique places and drive some very unique and cool cars. And so, even if you're not a car person, it's a great travel log. You get to see some awesome scenery and some awesome stuff and experience that. And they're fun. They're goofy. So you get some comedy out of the deal as well. So I'm looking forward to the next Grand Tour special. Otherwise, I think that is about what I've watched lately. It's I mean, I had my son this weekend, so of course there was plenty of Storybots and Thomas mixed into the mix, but it's the same old ones. So at this point, I've seen I could probably recite these ones for God's sakes. But anyway, that's the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report. So now let's go ahead and get back to the hotline and listen to some more calls from listeners here. Looks like we have another one, probably another one here from Trent.
Howdy, Nick. Howdy, parishioners. It's Trent. Just calling so as Nick mentioned, I ended up being able to come home, fortunate enough to get the so far one and only compact disc of Larry the Mute reading the Bible. And let me tell you, I've listened to some of it, and it speaks to me. And so I know, Nick, we talked about wondering how on earth he got it,
Sorry, guys. My phone is going into standby mode.
All of one CD, but I'll tell you, that auctioneering school he went to, that paid off. He gets through it. I ended up having to play the track at quarter speed just to be able to hear any of it. I mean, to understand any of it. But it's been great, hearing my good buddy's voice again, and so just thought I might throw it out. Maybe you should invite him back to come on the show. He might be willing again. I would venture a bet. So, but I'll likely call back. Maybe let everybody hear an excerpt or so, or excerpt or two of him reading, play it for everyone, so everybody gets a chance to enjoy. And yeah, so not a question, sorry, but hope everyone stays safe and stays smoked. Oh, I still got time. So, listening to today's episode with you and Pinky, different people to call. So I am currently in the process. I haven't actually started doing much, but I'm looking into converting the shop on our barn into a smoking area, adding an exhaust fan in there. That's going to be my winter plan here in Georgia, which fortunately typically doesn't get that cold where it's too bad to smoke outside. But for when it is, it'll be nice to have a place to do so indoors. But everybody stay safe and stay smoky, and I'll talk to you later.
All right. I would like to have an outdoor space, Trent, but as you're very well aware, I'm still sitting a little budget shy from doing so. And it's one of those things. I'll get to it eventually. It's a luxury. It's not something I need at this time, so we'll figure it out. Looks like you called a couple more times. I'm not gonna lie, buddy. I don't think I'm playing 5 of your calls in this episode. I'll probably go ahead and say that 2's your max. Teddy got a couple, but a couple of his were short. I'm looking at the times on yours, and yours are fairly... Well, you know what? This last one, I'll tell you what. I'll do this last one just because it's less than a minute. So one more from Trent, and then we'll move on to the next caller.
Hey, parishioners, it's Trent, calling back as promised to let you hear a snippet of Larry the Mute reading the Bible.
Okay.
Something's going on with the hotline. It's not letting me record long while playing it. So, I was going to let you hear Psalms, in its entirety, but we'll do a shorter excerpt. We'll listen to the story of Noah's Ark.
Oh, damn my phone! Sorry guys, my phone.
Ark. Yeah. And so Genesis 6 through about half of 9. So here that goes. Beep.
Yep, I remember the Larry the Mute bit. And there we go. That would be Larry the Mute reading Noah's Ark at apparently a very, very fast speed. So anyway, good God. I don't know what to say to that. So anyway, thank you, Trent. Like I said, I'm cutting you off at 3. Cause you had like 5, and that's more than I'm gonna go with. But anyway, we have one more caller here, and they called looks like twice. Once per month, once in August, once during PulpitFest here. So we will see what this is all about. So anyway, let's hear from our last caller.
Hey, Nick. This is Jesse from Pittsburgh.
What's up,
Long-time listener, first-time caller. Just wanted to say I hope everybody's having a great time down there at PulpitFest. Wish I was there. Wish I could be partaking in all the shenanigans going on with Ken and the boys at Ash and Ale. Just had a quick question for you. So I tried the Lagiano Maduro for the first time a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Really enjoyed it. Love that sweet Maduro flavor. Just want to see if you have any other recommendations of Maduros that you enjoy that are similar in flavor.
Sorry, Jesse.
Have that Maduro sweetness, something along those lines. Any thoughts, any ideas you have? Much appreciated. Take care. Thanks.
I know a guy who would actually have a good answer for that. And the question is, can I get him on the phone, or is this going to be one of those things where I call him and I can't get him? So we're going to try. I'm going to phone a friend on this one, and we're going to see if we can pull this off. I don't know what he's got going today. But we're going to try. I'm going to give him so much shit if he doesn't pick up.
Hello? Hello? Is this thing on? You should have texted me. Nobody uses voicemail anymore. Just give me a text.
Mr. Jonathan, I'm calling live on the Cigar Pulpit with an actual cigar question. And you didn't answer. Anyway, well, sorry, buddy. I was going to give you the shot and let you try and answer this one, but I guess I'll have to move on and figure out somebody else to call. So, thanks. I burned my phone a friend. Anyway, well, Mr. Jonathan would have had a good answer for that. So, it's possible he tries calling me back. I don't know. I'm texting him. So, we'll see if he answers. I don't know. We'll see. In the meantime, you did call a second time, but I'm going to take a break from the listener calls before I play that one, Jesse. I want to give Mr. Jonathan time to call in because he very well may call in. And if he does, I don't want to be tying up. I don't want to, have it to where one thing is competing with the other. So why don't we go ahead and do this?
Guess what, motherfucker?
It's time for 3 cigars we smoked and enjoyed this week. And in terms of what cigars I have smoked and enjoyed this week, let me go to my list. I am thoroughly enjoying this Bricktoberfest. I'm getting fairly low on it. It is a fairly quick smoke, so I'm getting a little low on it, but it's smoking wonderfully, and we will see. We'll see how the rest of this goes, but I'm digging it. The spice on it is picking up as I get into the final third. So the first one that I want to give a shout out to that I smoked and enjoyed this week was the Aganorsa Leaf Signature. I'm going based off the wrapper or off the band and the little sticker on the cellophane. So it's the Aganorsa Leaf Signature 1 or Signature Edition 1 Toro. This Aganorsa Leaf cigar was provided to PulpitFest attendees from Jeff Andreezy. He couldn't make PulpitFest. He really, really wanted to. Had a couple of tickets even reserved, but life got in the way and he couldn't make it. And so as a way to just be, a hell of a human, he called Ken and he purchased enough of these to cover the goodie bags. And so, Jeff, once again, I want to give you a big thanks for that. I'm going to buy you a cigar when I see you up at the New England Cigar Expo. And but I did smoke one of these. Fantastic cigar. Very, very smooth. Very well-constructed cigar. Dug the hell out of that. The second one that I smoked and enjoyed this week that I want to give a shout-out to, I smoked a Villiger Miami. It's the Cañonazo. It's the Toro size of the Villiger Miami that they've put out. And I smoked one of those on, it was the 12th. That would be what? Thursday. That's right. It was during Thursday Night Football. I tuned in and saw Miami was taking on Buffalo. And figured, what better cigar to smoke when Miami is playing than that. I tuned in, I wanted to give it a shot. I know earlier in the show I literally talked about how I don't watch much football, but by God, it just started. People were excited, whatever. I figured, why not? I'll check it out. And boy, that was just. I guess if you're a Buffalo fan, it was a good game. If you're a Miami fan, it was definitely not. So I watched a few minutes of it. I didn't really. I moved on from there. Anyway, but fantastic cigar. The next cigar that I smoked, the third cigar that I want to highlight and say that I smoked and enjoyed this week was the Aladino Fumanoche. I actually had that Saturday evening. To kill out my evening. Sorry, I'm figuring out dates on the fly here. Saturday evening to kill out my day. I sat and I enjoyed that on the patio real quick before I went to bed. Didn't think I was going to be able to get one in, but the kiddo went to bed and I snuck outside and had that. Great cigar. Really enjoyed it. It's definitely a end of evening cigar. Trey Mack brings that up and talks about it, and he's right. That is definitely a end of the day smoke for anybody who's looking for something like that. So try the Aladino Fumanoche if you're looking for I'd say fairly full-bodied, full flavor, but it's not like slit in your throat kind of flavor. It's not peppery. It's not that. It's just full flavor and full-bodied cigar. Anyway, still giving Mr. Jonathan a little time to try and call with the cigar question, so we'll go ahead and do this now. It's time to fly high with Blackbird Cigars. Blackbird Cigars offers you remarkable quality using the most delicate and finest tobacco to always ensure that you're receiving unsurpassed cigars. Blackbird Cigars strives to give you undoubted repeating flavor for every cigar you smoke and impressive quality so that you can always expect greatness. Check out their website for a full list of stores carrying Blackbird Cigars and give them a test flight. Blackbird Cigars, can't clip our wings. So today we are going to be talking about Team Hoyt. Team Hoyt was the athletic duo consisting of Dick Hoyt and his son Rick Hoyt. And they're from Holland, Massachusetts. And the Hoyts, they competed together in marathons and triathlons. And this is notable because Rick had cerebral palsy. Team Hoyt began in 1977 when Rick asked his father if they could run a race together to benefit a lacrosse player at his school who had become paralyzed. Rick wanted to prove that life went on no matter what your disability, and Dick Hoyt was a retired lieutenant colonel in the Air National Guard, and he wasn't a runner, and at 36 years old, really didn't have the intention of becoming a runner, but he said sure. So after their first race, Rick said to his father, he said, "Dad, when I'm running, it feels like I'm not handicapped." So then after that, it was on. After their initial 5-mile run, Dick began running every day with a bag of cement in the wheelchair because Rick was at school and studying and unable to train with him. Now, through March of 2016, the Hoyts had competed in 1,130 endurance events, including 72 marathons, 6 Ironman triathlons. They also ran in the Boston Marathon 32 times between 1980 and 2014. Also adding to their list of achievements, Dick and Rick biked and ran across the United States in 1992, completing a full 3,735 miles, or 6,011 kilometers for you people who don't go by miles, in 45 days. They also competed in triathlons. For the swim portion of a triathlon, Dick used a rope attached to his body to pull Rick sitting in a boat. And for the cycle portion, Rick rode in the front of a specially designed tandem bike. For the run portion, Dick pushed Rick in the wheelchair. Team Hoyt was inducted into the Ironman Hall of Fame in 2008. And on April 8th, 2013, a bronze statue in honor of the Hoyts was dedicated near the start of the Boston Marathon in Hopkintown, Massachusetts. ESPN honored Team Hoyt with the Jimmy V Perseverance Award at the ESPY Awards show on July 17th, 2013. Be like Team Hoyt and Blackbird Cigars, and don't let anybody clip your wings. So, I think I've given Mr. Jonathan as much time as I could possibly give him. So, we're going to go ahead and play Jesse's other call here, and hopefully, before I'm done recording, Mr. J calls in and we can get an answer to those Maduro questions. One I would recommend is the Avo Maduro. A lot of sweetness on the Avo Maduro. If you're looking for a nice sweet Maduro cigar, I would definitely say the Avo Maduro. But anyway, let's try this other call here.
Hey, Nick, this is Jesse again. Just had a quick question for you. I was hoping I could get some clarification on. In that episode...
And there is Mr. Jonathan. Mr. Jonathan.
Hey, what's going on?
You are live on the Cigar Pulpit right now, and I'm doing an Ask the Pulpit episode. And I had a listener call in with a question, and I figured you would be the man to ask. So Jesse from Pittsburgh called in and said that he had just smoked the La Giana Maduro, and he really liked that cigar, and he wanted recommendations on other Maduro cigars that have a level of sweetness as the La Giana Maduro.
You got Crux Maduro. You have Perdomo 10th Anniversary Maduro. Garofalo Maduro in the La Familia. The other one is actually a little too strong.
Okay.
The regular Family Reserve.
I said the Avo Maduro.
Avo Maduro is another great one. I'm trying to walk around the humidor in my head here for a second.
I know, I'm putting you on the spot.
You have JFR Lunatic Maduro. It's a little bit less sweet, but it does have a little bit of that Maduro sweetness.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
That's all I got off the top of my head.
I knew you'd be the guy to ask, so I appreciate the quick callback.
My pleasure.
All right. I'll talk to you later, man.
Later.
Thanks. Bye. And just like that, we get the answer to the question. Now, Jesse, let's go back to your second call here as soon as I find the app and bring that up.
Had with Luke.
Let's go back to
Hey, Nick, this is Jesse again. Just had a quick question for you. I was hoping I could get some clarification on. In that episode you had with Luke, when you guys were talking about his new Instagram account, just wanted to clarify. Is his new account pictures of clouds that look like dicks or dicks that look like clouds? If you clear that up for me, I'd much appreciate it. Stay safe, stay smoky. Thanks.
So the Instagram account is cumulus_phallus, and it is clouds that look like dicks, not dicks that look like clouds. I don't think Instagram would be too cool with the idea of posting a bunch of dick pics. However, apparently if you put up clouds and then in the second picture outline the part of the cloud that looks like the penis, apparently that's allowed. So it is cumulus_phallus, PHALLUS, and you can check out clouds that look like dicks on Instagram. So there you go, Jesse. That would be the Instagram account. Anyway, well, why don't we now go ahead and close out this episode of Ask the Pulpit. Guys, once again, you can get your questions in by calling the hotline at area code 863-874-0000. I'm available on the socials on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit. We're also on Facebook, where we have the Pulpit Parishioners group. YouTube, where you can watch this. Twitter/X, where I don't really do much of anything. And I just told you about the hotline. Otherwise, that's where you can find me. We are I'm kind of in the mode now where I'm recording a bunch of episodes, kind of getting them banked up and ready so that while I'm away at the New England Cigar Expo, episodes will be done and in the can. So I'll be busy doing that, but we'll have plenty more coming up here. So final thought on the Bricktoberfest. As you can see, I'm down to very near the end here. The amount of spice on this thing has definitely, increased to the point that, it's a totally different cigar from the start to the finish. And good cigar. Don't get me wrong, very good cigar. I'm digging the level of spice in it. It's just it's such a drastic smoking difference between the two. So if you're looking for something that starts off maybe at a light, like a medium light, and kind of over the course of the cigar builds up and gets to a nice spicy medium, try out the Bricktoberfest 2024. And again, remember, if you buy 7 Brick House cigars at participating retailers, you can get your own Bricktoberfest 2024 Stein. Hand-painted Stein. So you're going to want to get in on that so you have something decorative and beautiful to put your lager into so that you have something wonderful to drink from as you're smoking your cigars. So it works out beautifully. It just works. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, everyone, for calling in. I love these episodes, and they're really good for when I don't have a guest lined up. I still have somebody to talk to, and I appreciate that. So anyway, guys, this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick. Stay safe and stay smoky. Take it easy, everyone.